All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're diving into the PCOS Nourish Guide to really get a handle on polycystic ovary syndrome. We're going to explore how food isn't just, well, food. It's actually an incredibly powerful tool you can use to manage your symptoms and honestly start to thrive. Just let that sink in for a second. That's a pretty empowering thought, isn't it? The idea that the path to feeling better, to getting back in control, could actually start with what's on your plate. And you know what? That's exactly the journey we're kicking off right now. So let's make sure we're all on the same page. At its heart, PCOS is a very common hormonal condition. But here's the part of that definition that you really need to hear. It can be effectively managed. This is not about some magic pill or quick fix. It's about making smart, strategic choices that put you back in the driver's seat. Okay, so let's get into it. Before you can manage anything, you have to know what you're looking for, right? So let's break down some of the most common signs and symptoms of PCOS. You know, it's so easy to deal with these things one by one and not even realize they're all connected. You've got the frustratingly unpredictable cycles, stubborn acne that just won't quit, maybe some changes in hair growth, and a struggle with weight that feels totally out of your control. These are all classic signs pointing to an underlying hormonal imbalance. And just recognizing that, that's the first huge step. So why does this stuff happen? It's definitely not random. There's a real science to it, like a chain reaction that gets set off inside your body. We're going to peel back the layers now and take a look at the root causes. And a lot of the time, it all kicks off right here with something called insulin resistance. All that really means is your body's cells are kind of ignoring the hormone insulin, which has the super important job of managing your blood sugar. And when that happens, it creates this ripple effect that touches, well, pretty much everything. And here's the next domino to fall in that chain reaction. When your body is struggling with insulin, it can throw your other hormones completely out of whack. This often leads to higher levels of androgens. You might have heard them called male hormones. And those are responsible for a lot of the symptoms we just talked about, like the acne and the unwanted hair growth. Okay, the last big piece of this puzzle, inflammation. The best way to think about it is that your body is stuck in this constant state of low-level alert. This chronic inflammation just makes the insulin resistance worse and adds even more fuel to that hormonal fire. It's a total vicious cycle, but, and this is the important part, it's a cycle we can absolutely interrupt. Which brings us to the good stuff, the solution. If the problem is a cycle of imbalance, then the answer is a plan for strategic nourishment. This is how we start using food to heal from the inside out. Now, take a look at this. This doesn't look like diet food, does it? It's not about restriction or eating boring, bland meals. It's about abundance and color and flavor. A meal that nourishes you and helps with PCOS should be something you actually get excited about. It's all about adding in the good stuff, not just taking things away. This quote from the guide is everything. It completely flips the script. Instead of asking, how many calories does this have, we start asking, how much nourishment am I getting? Am I getting the vitamins, the minerals, the good stuff my body needs to fight that inflammation and balance out my hormones? It's all about quality over quantity. That's the name of the game. So what does a plate like that actually look like? Well, it's built on these core ideas. You want lean proteins to keep you feeling full and keep your blood sugar steady. You absolutely need healthy fats. They're crucial for making hormones. Then you've got high fiber carbs that digest slowly so you don't get those big insulin spikes. And finally, you load up on a whole rainbow of anti-inflammatory foods to help calm everything down. But here's the thing. As powerful as food is, it doesn't work in a vacuum. To really get the best results, you've got to look at the whole picture. It's about building a lifestyle that supports all those amazing changes you're making on your plate. Think of these three as your non-negotiables. Regular movement, especially anything that builds strength, helps your body use insulin way better. Taming your stress is huge, because stress hormones can totally sabotage your progress. And sleep? Getting a solid 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep is when your body does its most important repair work on your hormones. It's a game changer. Okay, so we've got the theory down, we know what to do, but how do you actually make this work in your real busy life? And how do you know if it's even working? Well, it all comes down to tracking your progress. You've probably heard the saying, you can't manage what you don't measure, and it is so true here. By keeping an eye on your symptoms and your habits, you turn this whole journey into useful data. And this isn't about judging yourself. It's about getting priceless feedback from the only expert that really matters, your own body. And here's a super simple way to do it. First, talk to your doctor and get a baseline. See where you're starting from. Then, use an app to log your symptoms, your cycle, even your mood. It's also a great idea to snap photos to track visual changes in your skin over time. That makes the progress feel so real. And the last step, which is so important, is to share all this info with your healthcare team so you can make smart adjustments together. I really love this quote because it's just a perfect reminder to be kind to yourself. There are going to be great days and there are going to be some tough days. Progress is not going to be a perfect straight line. The goal here is consistency, not perfection. You're building habits that will last a lifetime. And that really brings us to the biggest takeaway of all. There is no magic, one-size-fits-all plan for PCOS. The best plan, the one that's actually going to work, is the one that's personalized for your body, your symptoms, and your life. It has to be sustainable, something you can stick with for the long haul. That right there is the real secret to thriving. So let's end on this question. This is not about overhauling your entire life by tomorrow. It's about starting small. What's one tiny thing you can do? Maybe it's just adding a handful of greens to your eggs this morning, or going for a quick 10-minute walk after lunch, or maybe it's just turning off your phone an hour before bed. What's that one small, nourishing step you can take for yourself, starting right now?